Hey, Dave. We see Trea Turner hitting leadoff, and then obviously Mookie's in there, so I'm guessing he's feeling better. But he's hitting third. What kind of just went into the line configuration today?
Well, I think there's really no way to put it together that doesn't look right. I think for me, both guys felt being in a certain part of the order with consistency was important to them. And Trea's hit a lot of at the top of the order, and to be able to utilize his speed at the top to create havoc on the bases, stress, get him at the top. I feel really good about that. To supplant Muncy in the two behind him, get on base, drive runs in, feel really good about that. And then Mookie in there, verse right, verse left in the three to get on base, drive runs in. I feel good. So I think that was kind of the impetus in the thinking. So now with rest and guys like that, but for the most part, that's where you'll see those three guys.
And yesterday you said kind of Mookie's hip is something that's not going to go away. So do you have to check in with him on a daily basis to see how kind of he's feeling, to see if you put him in right or in second base? How does that kind of work out?
It's going to be a constant conversation with Mookie, the training staff, to put him in the best position to stay on the field for, as much as we can keep him on the field. So playing with the governor in right field on the bases, I think makes sense for all of us. Also managing his workload. So he'll be in there tonight. The plan right now is to have him down tomorrow, so he'll get 2 days to recover for that Philadelphia series.
And what did you see out of Cole Hamels in his sim game?
It was good. I think we wanted him to get out there, get with our guys, put some eyes on him. So he just threw one inning, which we felt good. He just threw on Wednesday. So for him to throw an inning and talk to the pitching guys and just wanted to see how he felt. So I think that was good. And then we'll figure out when his next session will be sometime next week.
And just to kind of make sure, so he threw a couple warm-up pitches before. I guess he was thinking about throwing a second inning. Did you guys just kind of shut it down for one inning?
That was more the second up, just to get out there and see if we wanted to keep going. And then I think right there, we just wanted to take the win with the sim game with the one inning.
Gotcha. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Dave Assay. Go ahead, Dave.
Dave, going back to Mookie's hip, can you live with it possibly popping up in the middle of games like it did last night? And I know it's been bothering him all season long. Do you feel like this is something that could get worse? I was just thinking about what happened with Rendon, how he had to shut down his season with something similar.
I don't know the answer. I don't think anyone knows the answer. I think that it's kind of in the category of it is what it is, and you have to manage it. I don't believe that just resting it will help anything. So I think part of it is I think all of it is just managing it. So having a 6-man bench like we have tonight and last night certainly is helpful. When we get to a 5-man bench, it'll still be doable. But when you're talking about if we get to a 4-man bench, it'll certainly be a little bit more tough to navigate. But I think, Mookie's the most important cog in this. And so we have to just continue to have conversations to do what we can to kind of make it as playable as possible.
As far as Turner not hitting in the top third of your order, what does he do for the bottom or the middle part of your order now? And what was the cost and the pros and cons of doing that?
JT, it's the middle of the order, and Justin can hit anywhere. He's shown that. And where he's in the 4 or he's in the 5, he's going to get on base and drive runs in. And so I think that with all of our guys, nothing sort of how they take at bats should change.
I guess in this situation, now that you have all your guys healthy and you add Trea Turner, somebody has to hit somewhere. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah, they all do. It's a very talented lineup. And like I said, it's splitting hairs. Justin could be in the 2, the 3, the 4, and all those guys are certainly interchangeable which speaks to their talent. And you can throw Corey in there as well. So it really doesn't matter. And Pollock and Taylor, Will Smith, they can all do it. So I think for us is someone's got to hit somewhere. And I think that it just poses the most problem for opposing teams when you're looking at the right, left, and then also just the length and talent of the lineup.
Thank you, Dave.
Next questions from Fabian Ardaya. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, I know you kind of answered this a little bit earlier, but like, how much has having this much talent in your lineup sort of forced you to think about lineup construction differently than you have maybe in years past?
These are good problems, certainly. But I think that it just speaks to the talent, Fabian, and also it's stressful 1 through 8. It really is. And each guy is going to have opportunities to impact the game throughout the night, and multiple opportunities is my guess.
And then you've talked about how Mookie, when he plays at second, playing on the dirt, maybe makes the hip, doesn't impact the hip as much. I mean, is that something that is still even a conversation for you guys with Trey here, or how much is that going to work?
I think kind of the mechanics is when Corey gets an off day and we slide Trey over to short, we can move Mookie into second base. When Trey has an off day, we can slide Mookie into second base. That's kind of, and now you also layer in on certain days like tomorrow where Mookie will be down himself.
And then sort of shifting gears a little bit, I mean, how much of a surprise has Phil Bickford been for you in this bullpen, and how much did you even know about him when you guys first claimed him off waivers?
I knew nothing about him. He has been one of the biggest joys of the season. He's been a Dodger fan. He's just very grateful. He's a hard worker. He's got that edge. He's a sweetheart of a guy, but when he takes the baseball, he's a savage. Guys love him. And he's one of those guys that I just don't know where we'd be without him.
Thank you, Dave.
Next questions from Kerry Osborne. Go ahead.
Dave, we just had Trea Turner in the Zoom room, and in comparison to most major leaguers, how difficult was it to defend and strategize against him, being that he could hit tall fields, hit for power, and that he's an elite runner?
It was a nightmare. I don't think you can position for him because he hits the ball from line to line. He hits right and left. He hits velocity. He hits spin. He can run. He can split a gap. He can hit a homer. So there's really – it seemed like at the top of the order when you're managing against him, it seemed like he was always looming, and that just creates tension to the other side. So I'm happy he's with us now.
You know, when Mookie came in, there was this new energy that was brought to the team because of those attributes. Do you see kind of a similar quality with Trey?
We do. And I think so to have Mookie kind of playing with some ailment and not being as dynamic on the bases as he would like, having that other guy come in, infuse that energy, that ability to get on base, to slug, to complement everyone else is huge. Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next questions from JP Hornstra. Go ahead.
Dave, I wanted to ask you about Corey and just how he's rebounded since coming off the injured list. Is he somebody you have to sort of bake in some days off for as well, or is he 100%?
He is 100%. But I will say that we will bake in some off days. I know he won't be happy about it, but I think that it's kind of we're going to be in this stretch coming up after this off day. So it's kind of a 4-on, 1-off situation. So again, I don't want to kind of hard and fast rule it. We just want to see how Corey's feeling. And then, we'll talk to the strength and conditioning guys, trainers, and see where his body's at.
And then with Hamels, at what point, like in terms of a number of pitches or innings, does it become beneficial to have him on the 26-man roster?
I think once we get him to 5 innings in a simulated situation, I think for me, that's the floor. If we can get him there, knowing what he's done, his mind and body and how he takes care of himself, I think then it's a real conversation.
And you're content to use the odd bullpen game if needed between now and then?
I think so, because I think it'll be more of a shorter term play than we had in June.
Okay, thank you.